Boundaries are the unsung heroes of emotional intelligence, leadership, and even spiritual well being. And here's the kicker: if you're constantly drained, overwhelmed, or resentful, it may not be about how much you're doing. It just might be about what you're allowing to do. And welcome back to Coaching Talk series, where we empower individuals to lead with clarity and courage and confidence. Whether you're navigating boardrooms, break rooms, or your own living room. Hi, I'm Richard Fontaine, and today's episode is a game changer. We're diving into creating and maintaining healthy boundaries. A topic that's more than just about saying no. It's about choosing what you say yes to and why. Now, as I mentioned at the top of this podcast, boundaries are the unsung heroes of emotional intelligence, leadership, and even spiritual well-being. So get ready to unpack what healthy boundaries really look like in business, at work, and in our lives, and how you can start drawing lines that liberate instead of isolate. Now, here's something that hits home. Tony Caskins once said, "You teach people how to treat you by what you allow, and what you stop, and what you reinforce." And did you know, according to a 2023 LinkedIn study, 73% of professionals admit to sacrificing their well-being due to poor boundary setting at work. And that's nearly 3 out of 4 people. So let's change that starting today. We're going to be discussing 4 key points. Number 1, boundaries are about clarity and not control. And number 2, boundaries protect energy and purpose. Number 3, healthy boundaries require consistent communication. And number 4, guilt is a sign you're growing. So let's get going. The first one is about boundaries are about clarity and not control. Now, boundaries aren't walls. They're guidelines that clarify what is okay and what isn't. So both you and others can thrive. And when we set clear boundaries, we give people a roadmap to respect us. Now, here's a story about a project manager named Tamara. She was drowning in after-hours messages. So she created a simple boundary. No work messages after 6 p.m. unless it was absolutely necessary. Her team took a little time to adjust, but adjust they did. And not only that, they respected her even more. And number 2, boundaries protect energy and purpose. Now here's the thing, folks. If everything gets our attention, nothing gets the best energy. Boundaries help us focus on what matters most. And that's not selfish, it's just smart. Now, here's a story about an executive leader who was on the verge of burnout. By protecting 2 non-negotiable time blocks in his work week for deep work and family time, he not only hit his goals, but also found joy again in his leadership. And by the way, I would be remiss if I didn't point out Man Up Men in the Fontenay magazine storefront. Now, this is our popular PLR offering for men who struggle to balance their lifestyle and what they can do about it. Now, I provided a link in the description below. And number 3, healthy boundaries require consistent communication. Setting boundaries is not a one-time announcement. It's an ongoing practice of communicating clearly and kindly, especially when those boundaries are tested. A business owner I worked with set an open door policy until he realized it meant no focus time. So we developed boundary language. He put a sign on his door that said, "I am in deep focus mode right now, and let's reconnect at 2 o'clock," or the time he was available. His team respected it, and he became a role model, because over time he noticed others hanging signs on their doors. As a result, team productivity soared. And number 3, guilt is a sign you're growing. Now, feeling guilty about setting boundaries doesn't mean we're doing it all wrong. It often means we're finally prioritizing an extremely important value: the importance of looking after ourselves so that we can take care of others. So, really stay the course. Now, here's something I found in my own life, and perhaps it's something you can consider if you're feeling guilty about saying no. At one time, I had to decline a volunteer leadership role. On assessing it, I found I was considering it more out of obligation than what I really truly valued. And that one no opened up space to say yes to my family. A year later, we were all better off for it. Now, here are some ideas to consider on how we can apply all this to our businesses, workplaces, and lives. In business, we can set clear boundaries, define roles, prevent burnout, and foster trust. Leaders who model boundaries set a tone of psychological safety. And studies show that this leads to innovation and engagement. In our workplaces, whether remote or in our in-office at home, clear boundaries around time, communication, and task ownership prevent resentment and support. Sustainable that sustains productivity. In our lives, boundaries are about living in alignment with our values. That includes boundaries with tech tools, relationships, social media, and even our inner critic. So we can then break from our cell phones, social media prompts, and concentrate on our relationships and peace of mind. And we need to keep reminding ourselves, especially in our fast-paced world, of this dictum: you cannot give your best to others if you're always giving yourself away. So in conclusion, here's the bottom line. Boundaries are not rejection of others. They're an affirmation of ourselves. They represent a declaration of what we will honor with our time, our energy, and our purpose, and our peace of mind. Now, if this episode sparked something in you, I invite you to reflect on where you are most drained. And that's your boundary blind spot. Number 2, practice by setting one new boundary this week. Just one. And I invite you to do so. And number 3, share this episode with someone who needs to hear this message today. And finally, don't forget to subscribe to the Coaching Talk series and leave a comment if this episode helped you in any way. And by the way, I would love to hear about your favorite boundary setting tip. Drop it in the comment below. And thank you for doing so. Next week, we'll be talking about the role of the collaboration in building strong organizations. So don't miss it. Until then, be bold, be kind, and own your space. I'm Richard Fontenay signing off, and see you next week. Bye for now.